Welcome, my beautiful people. How you doing today? We got some Clash Royale for ya. And today we're going to talk about the spells. I'm going to go over the Rage, the Ice, and the Lightning spell and talk about why you should use them, how you should use them, and when you should use them, and talk about how you should arrange your deck if you're going to use those spells, because it all is taken into consideration. So I'm going to start off in here with a really nice game from Gustav over here. And we're going to show off the Freeze spell. So, number one, is it an offensive or a defensive spell? It can be used both different ways, but it's a lot harder to be used as a defensive spell. It's much easier and much better to be used as an offensive spell. So what I noticed is the first thing I want to talk about is Hog Ice. Really, really excellent combo. Almost always recommended. If you're going to go for the Ice spell, you pretty much need a Hog Rider. You can use him in combination with a Prince, but it's a lot harder to use. He usually doesn't end up getting to the Crown Tower in time, and if anybody has goblins or anything, he's just going to not work out. So usually the Hog Rider is the best thing to use in combination with the Ice. So you noticed he had an Inferno Tower. He's already got 10 Elixir back. I got my nice Tesla Tower down here, and he's going to go with a pretty weird combo here. He's going to go with a Dark Prince and a regular Prince against us. So we're going to drop down our minions, start doing some damage to this guy, and we drop down our Goblins to make sure he doesn't do too much crazy damage. And we end up, oh my god, it looks really bad, but we're going to drop our Barbarians down in the middle of the Wizard. They're just going to pound on him and take him down. And we're going to follow up with a Hog Rider. So we notice he's got almost no Elixir right now, and we've got 5 different units coming out, but he drops his Barbarians. But here it is, guys. Get ready for it. The Freeze spell! 912 damage on that Crown Tower using one Freeze spell. That is the way to use it. Doesn't matter how many units are right next to him. It does matter if they're kind of spread out, but if you can get a good landing Freeze spell, it does crazy damage. He's already got his Barbarians down there. He has no more Elixir to use, so we basically just completely rocked him. Obviously, we already had our Barbarians there, and we already had our Hog Rider at the base. Would have done damage no matter what, but an extra 912 damage. You really just can't go wrong with that. So now we just have to defend. That's the main thing. Once you get one Crown Tower, you can mostly just defend. So we're going to do pretty much the same thing we just did last time. We're going to drop down our Barbarians, our Minions, and we already have our Tesla to defend this stuff. So it's really not that big of a deal. But we can try and do it again if we want. We can go Hog Rider, just get ready for the Ice, but sadly he drops down his Inferno Tower, so we can't really freeze it quite as easily. So the biggest weakness, okay, let's talk about the strength first. The biggest strength to the Ice Tower is you can do some really heavy damage if your enemy drops something down and you have something on the Crown Tower already. So you can do crazy damage. Like I said, 912 damage. The biggest weakness is that it's sort of hard to use if you time it wrong and you put it down, a half a second too late or something. It's going to be very, very bad. You just literally wasted 4 Elixir, and guess what? You gave them more time to build up units and get an even bigger horde coming at you. Another weakness to the Freeze spell is that you don't do any damage. You're not hurting them at all. So even though you're doing damage to the Crown Tower, you're keeping all of their units there, which again allows them to get a bigger horde coming at you. So it's a little bit rough to use. If you use it correctly, though, it is absolutely astronomically amazing. And I highly recommend it as any sort of mid-tier gameplay, over 1,000 trophies. Try to use the Hog Freeze for sure. Alright, so let's hop in here to the next game. Alright, so let's show off the Lightning spell. First of all, offensive or defensive, again, can be used as both, but it's usually better as an offensive tower because you can not only destroy their buildings, you can destroy their units, you can also do Crown Tower damage, which is really, really awesome. So, usually whenever I get Lightning, though, I love to get my Elixir collectors going because it's very, very tough to end up using this Lightning and afford it. It's 6 Elixir. That's probably the biggest weakness to the Elixir, is the fact that it is 6 Elixir to use him. But, I don't know if you guys just noticed, but we killed 2 of his units with our 1 Lightning spell. So what does that mean for us? It means, hey, we could do some pretty mega damage, and we can actually do more, we can basically do more damage with our 6 Elixir than his Elixir takes. So, I don't know, we can probably make him, we can probably trade out about 11 or 12 elixir if we do a really, really nice lightning spell. So I noticed the P.E.K.K.A over there, so I'm going to go full on hard out on the right side over here. We got our Hog Rider, our minions, we got Barbarians following up after that. And he's trying to get some skeletons and goblins, but it's just not enough. We're doing mega damage to his crown tower. Now sadly we have to keep up, and we have to make sure we get something for the P.E.K.K.A. So we drop down our Tesla in the middle, and we got our goblins going. He didn't follow anything up with the P.E.K.K.A trying to defend his right side over there, and we're going to do some crazy damage to his P.E.K.K.A, and we're going to take it down, and we got a crown tower out of it. So it was an excellent game right there. Right now, we haven't really used the lightning spell too much. We used it once to defend at the very beginning, and now we finally got it back again. So we're going to use it again to kill his musketeer. We did some crown tower damage, and we killed his musketeer. Basically doing damage to the crown tower for 2 elixir. I like to think about things in terms of elixir. Is it worth the trade? When you're using an ice spell, you're using 4 elixir to try and do damage to a crown tower, usually. Sometimes you can defend with it a little bit. When you're using the Rage, you're again using a pretty decent amount of elixir to do mega damage to hopefully everything. So, in that case, it's pretty darn good. But when you're using a lightning, if you use it on something like a giant, it's like, oh man, that's just kind of a complete waste of money, right? You're not doing very much damage to him, and he's still got a pretty... and you're like spending a lot of elixir, so it's just not worth it in that scenario. So you got to use it on these sort of medium-level units. Usually the Musketeer, the Wizard, the Baby Dragon, all those guys are very, very weak to the Lightning. Also, the Lightning, the best thing about the Lightning is it actually basically combats the Expo. When people spam these defensive units all over the place, the Skeleton Bomber and the Tesla and the Expo, they spam those things and then they pop down pop all that stuff down, then pop an Expo down and kill your crown tower. It's like really, really lame, but if you just do whoop, lightning, you can pretty much kill them all. So that's pretty sweet. So anyways, we did a really nice lightning again. I don't know if you guys saw it, I kind of missed it a little bit. I was talking to you guys about how awesome the lightning is. And we ended up taking that game down, man. We got pretty much full health on both of our crown towers and completely annihilated his crown tower on the right there, right at the very beginning, so it was pretty much perfect. Alright, so let's hop in here to the last game. Alright, so now we got to talk about the Rage, the purple goo of goodness. How should you use it? Is it an offensive or is it a defensive spell? Mostly offensive. Again, you can use it as a defensive spell, but it's probably not that good because you probably don't have that many units on your side. So this guy actually starts off by killing my Elixir Collector. Sadly, he did something kind of silly right there. He didn't end up damaging my crown tower, even though he could have easily done that. And now our minions are going to kill his cannon and take down a little bit of damage on his Tesla. So now we have a huge elixir advantage on this guy. And I really don't want to hurt him right now yet because his Tesla tower is still there. So I'm going to end up using my own defense. And then hopefully by the time we get over there... Oh no, he's going to pop down his mortar. So we got to get rid of this thing. We're going to pop our Hog Rider down with some goblins really quick and just take it down as quick as possible. He's not going to do... that much damage with it, and he's going to get his cannon down there, so he's using a lot of defensive towers right now. What does that mean? We got to get the overwhelm going. So how should you use the Rage? Usually you want to get some sort of slower units, pop them down in the back, have them slowly walk up to the other side, and then pop everybody down at the same time, and just bam, shazam, Rage spell them, and they're going to annihilate everybody. The biggest weakness probably to the Rage spell is when people have arrows or the fireball or missiles or things like that. If they can just, because you're trying to pile all your units on top of each other. So if they end up killing a lot of your units with one of those spells, it can be really, really bad. So this guy did something very, very silly. He ended up, look at this Rage spell, man. Look at this Rage spell. Oh my god, he's got no elixir to defend. Basically, he did a missile, which was a lot of elixir, and then he poisoned my stuff. And that was just a terrible play. Trying to do both of those in a row was a terrible play. We got our overwhelm going, and we completely annihilated it with the Rage. By the way, the update is going to come out pretty soon. It's going to change the Rage just a little bit. I think it makes it last a little bit, I think it makes it last a little bit longer, but it makes it a little bit less strong. I believe that's what it was. I don't have to look into it a little bit more. But I think that's what's coming up. Hasn't even come out yet, so don't worry about it yet. But we got our crown tower, so what's the main thing, man? Just got to defend. So I'm going to get my Elixir Collector going. We're going to get our Tesla tower down. Sadly, he's going to kill all my barbarians with his skeleton, stupid thing. That's the worst thing for me. I cannot figure out how to beat those guys. They're really, really tough. And he's going to use another poison on my towers. So he's going to do some pretty decent damage to it, but I got my Tesla tower up, so I feel pretty darn safe. There's only 38 seconds left, so unless he does something... Oh, there we go. We see the mortar coming out. He's got the mortar and the the cannon. And it looks like we got all of our units over there. He's going to go with a Hog Rider on the right side, trying to take him down, but the Tesla Tower is going to tank that stuff. We pop our Barbarians down, and we're going to do some mega damage. So he's going to try and poison all of my stuff on the right side again, but now we're going to come in with a super heavy attack again. We're going to rage him, all 4 Barbarians, and a delicious little dragon over here. And the cool thing about the rage is you can pop more units behind them and have them still get the rage effect. So to finish off this video, which one should you get? It depends on your style of gameplay. If you're one of those people where you try and get a giant in the back or something like P.E.K.K.A in the back, and you try and overwhelm with like 50 units all at once, just crossing the river, rage. Rage is the way to go. If you're a defensive player and you want to use a lot of defensive towers, but you still want to be able to kill one of their crown towers, maybe Hog Ice is your way to go. Wait until they have pretty much no elixir, counter with a Hog Ice, and you can do some crazy damage really, really fast. All you gotta get is 1 or 2 good Hog Ices, and you can pretty much kill their crown tower. Lightning Spell is good as an all-around kind of offensive thing. If you see a lot of huts coming out, Lightning Spell is amazing. If you see a lot of people building a lot of defensive towers, use the Lightning Spell. And if you see a lot of people using Musketeers and Dragons and these higher level units, like mid-tier units, I guess, 4 or 5 elixir, you should probably end up using the Lightning. Personally, I like using the Lightning the most because I've seen a lot of people use the X-Bow Tesla cannon strategy, and I just lightning it, and it pretty much kills them, and then I just walk in with a couple of units and can take them down pretty darn easily. But that's what I'm going to have for you guys today. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you press the like button. I'd really appreciate that, and have a super duper delicious day.